This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, there we go.
Well, good evening, everyone. I'm going to call this meeting to order. Before we get started, I just wanted to update everyone on my name. For those of you who I may not have spoken with, I will no longer be going by my Canadian English name, Linda, but solely as my Korean legal birth name of Hyo-eun. And so you can call me Hyo-eun. It's pronounced yo with an H in front of it, so Hyo. And think of the number, French number 1, un. And so it's Hyo-eun. My nickname is Hyoni, so you could also call me Hyoni if you'd like.
Okay, Sean, good. And
Oh,
for the
there-
record, my full name is Frederick. But you can call
Okay,
me Fred.
Frederick. We can certainly call you Frederick if you prefer. So Mike just joined us, so it looks like everyone is here in attendance. Thank you all for joining. Due to the nature of this meeting, I don't think we have any conflicts with pecuniary interest. Kim, would you like to do the Indigenous land acknowledgement?
Actually, when I confirm that with the clerk, with committee meetings, we do not have to read the Indigenous land acknowledgement, just for council meetings.
Okay. And can I get a motion to approve the agenda? Melinda? Okay, can I, Dave, would you like to second the agenda?
I'll second.
Thank you.
I'm sorry,
Oh,
who moved it? Who moved it?
Melinda?
Melinda? And
Okay,
then Dave
thanks.
seconded. Oh, sorry. I would also like to welcome our new committee member, Sally Tohish. Thank you so much for joining us after all these years of your volunteering at our event. It was about time you joined the committee. So
Okay,
welcome.
thank you.
It is lovely to have you here. Hey, going back to our agenda. So we don't have a copy of our minutes from our last meeting from, geez, has it been February already?
It was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago, but Kim did send it out after our meeting. I had a chance to review it like many months ago. I didn't have any changes to the minutes, but if anyone else did, please let us know now. No? Okay. So we will adopt the minutes from February's meeting. And was there any business arising from the minutes? If you can even remember.
No,
Okay.
can't remember.
Don't think so.
All good. All good. That feels like many moons ago, and it was many moons ago. Well, let's just get right into it. We don't have anyone from the public that has joined us.
Excuse me,
So-
Linda, can you adopt the minutes, please?
Oh, I did.
Oh, you need a
Yep.
motion.
Oh, sorry. Can I get a motion to adopt our minutes from February meeting?
So move.
Dave?
Second.
Kim, it's not Linda anymore.
Oh, I'm
Don't call
sorry.
her Linda.
It's okay. It'll flip. Okay. So, do we have any unfinished business? Well, we didn't have any business or any deferred items really from our last meeting, considering that we didn't have any events, other than, I guess it was the bingo activity, which, Kim, do you know how that went? Do you have any, like a
No
post for us?
no one responded to bingo.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yep.
Well, we tried.
You tried.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
So
let's
did we
move
get,
on.
so were we able to, reason to shop at a big shop, or we were able to take the prizes back, or are they in a store cupboard for some other time in the future?
They are stored for future use. Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Winter Fest. Right. Well, let's move on to new business, to bright new year coming up, 2022, where we will finally be able to gather and plan and hopefully kick off the new year with back to being able to put on some community events.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. It was at council, I believe it was the November 16th, so last Tuesday, so November 16th meeting, that council decided they'd like for us to go ahead with Winterfest this year. It is to be an all outdoor event. So, we are to make the changes in that respect, but they felt that it was time for people to get out and start having a reason to smile. So they felt that Winterfest was a good option.
Fred, go ahead.
Kim, I know that's what council talked about. I don't think there was a formal motion. And I'd be all for it if you can come up with a plan, but I thought of it since we talked about it at council. And my concern is this, that they said, yeah, have it outdoors. Okay. So at Mono Community Center, we have, I don't know, snowshoeing, cross-country skiing, we have stuff. But we have to keep the door to the building open. I mean, think of washrooms. And once you keep the door to the building open, I don't care if we tell the people it's an outdoor event. You know, we're going to have people indoors. I don't see how we can prevent it. We have to have washroom facilities.
I thought about that, Fred, and I think the way we would work around that is the upstairs washrooms and doors would be locked. There'd be no access except from the lower south. The lower washrooms would be available to the public, and we would be able to lock off the door going into the lower south room. And we would put a big sign up saying no admittance going up to the lower north area, but we would have to have someone on the door there to make sure that not too many people, because those are small washrooms, so no more than 2 people at a time could be in the women's and men's washrooms. And the staff person or volunteer or whomever would have to make sure that as soon as they were done, they left the building. Because you are permitted to go into a building for washroom purposes, but you're not permitted to linger in the building after that.
Could we not do the upstairs washrooms rather than the downstairs washrooms because there's more washrooms available upstairs?
It means that people would have to walk around to the front of the building, which the whole event takes place at the back of the building. It also means that you're right in that there are more washrooms up there, but people are also going to have the use of the outdoor washroom that's there. Like it's heated. I refer to it as the outdoor washroom. It's inside, but it is heated.
That's only one.
Yeah, so downstairs there's 2 stalls in the women's, and there's a stall and a urinal in the men's, and then there'll be another washroom as well, which is the outdoor washroom. So
Can I,
Because how many people do we typically get for Winterfest? Because you really need to have one washroom for every 50 people, isn't it?
yeah,
Either 50 or 100. So just having, what's the usual attendance for Winterfest? It's like,
well, this year it would be a completely different program. That and the other thing I was thinking was because we can't do food and so on, that we're probably talking just a children's time length of party, you know, just a couple of hours, not an all day affair when there's no food and raffle.
So we're not doing any food at all?
Why can't we do food?
I thought we,
Yeah.
well, we can't do food in the way that we've done food before because even then it was questionable with the barbecuing and the bringing the buns and the burgers and everybody's hands all over everything. So we had talked at council that one could maybe do, you know, invite a food truck along and so on, but that we as volunteers wouldn't be able to provide food the way we used to.
Dave, go ahead.
Okay, before we get into food, can we deal with the washrooms? Would it be worthwhile
Yeah.
getting a couple of porta potties in for the day and having them somewhere on site so people don't have to come into the building? And
There is Dave, there is a porta potty on site. We keep it there 12 months of the year for use by the hikers. It's in the smaller of the two parking lots at the, what would it be, the south side of the building. So
I don't think it's an added expense bringing in porta potties when we have washrooms available. So
well, Linda, I mean, you got to look at Dave's thought, because there will be the expense of a staff person standing at the door to make sure that no one lingers in the hall.
Well, I'm just wondering whether the washrooms in the building will be sufficient, if we have enough capacity.
Well, that's
And
why I was
also
saying-
it requires people to, you know, make the trip into the building. If we had two porta potties outside, that would supplement the ones indoors. And I mean, I don't know how many we need, but it might be worth thinking about.
So Dave, we would have a total of 6. So 2 in the women's, 2 in the men's, the 1 outdoor washroom plus the porta potty. So there'd be 6. The rule of thumb
that's enough.
is 1 for every 50 people. Now, very seldom do we have 300 people on site at a time. I mean, we may have 500 throughout the entire day.
Yeah, that's
what
definitely
we've had
enough
in the past.
washroom.
Okay. The so-called outdoor washroom that's in the building, you can set that so that people don't have to put the number code into it? Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Go ahead, Fred.
Yeah, to go back, if we've dealt with washrooms, to go back to the issue of food, why can't we bring the barbecue outside and set it up, and we'll all make some chili and have some bowls and serve? Why couldn't we do that, Kim? Why can't we serve bowls of chili?
I know. Let's think
we
about
haven't
it.
I mean, we can do the barbecue outside, which we've always done for Winterfest anyways, and then we can still serve the chili. It would just, we would maybe just need an extra barbecue to have the chili pot warm, or one of those, actually not even a barbecue, just some kind of burner, like a camping burner, a couple of camping burners.
Could we not use
Yeah, crock pot. Oh yeah, absolutely, crock pot.
So on.
Like if we
Even though the
kept
building Kim, the volunteer could still have a key to the building and run up. We could have stuff in the kitchen upstairs.
That's what I'm thinking. Like we could. I know the only thing you can't do because of COVID is have a self-serve buffet. That's about the only thing I think we can.
That is actually allowed. You can do now. Buffets are open.
So yeah, I don't see why we wouldn't be able to have, if we bought, you know, for mustard and ketchup and all that, we bought the individual packages so that everyone's not touching a.
Why don't we just do chili?
Now, can people eat chili? So we'll have to get the plastic spoons, which is fine. No, like, you know how people used to always like to go and sit at the tables. So all we're going to have out there is probably what, I think there's 2, maybe 3 picnic tables. And Dave, I think don't you use them for the hot chocolate, or what is it that you do? The, God,
Well, we do some
Well, fire.
marshmallow roasting around the fire, but you
Can we
don't
do
really
that?
need a table for that. A small table would suffice.
okay.
Could we consider getting some food trucks in?
We could do like I was at the Orangeville Fairgrounds last weekend for that craft show that was on, and I saw a number of food trucks there. One of them being Fred, the
Rasmi's falafel?
Waffles.
the
Yeah, I was going to
falafel,
suggest that.
and
I can probably get them again.
I thought maybe them, but I don't know what the like. Do we have to pay them to be on site, and then
Well-
I don't know how food trucks actually work. We very seldom have used them.
Yeah,
think-
usually at an event, you would make them pay to be on site because they're reaping the benefits of a captive audience. So
Yeah.
if we just invite them, I'm sure they would be happy to be there because it's extra revenue for them, and we're giving them access to like a couple hundred people.
In
That would
an
be our
effort,
event.
in an effort to, when I've had food trucks at our races, I have paid the food truck ahead of time. And the food truck, instead of offering his usual list and what would you like, and there being big lineups, he just offers it's a taco truck, and he just would offer, the 3 kinds of tacos and have them all ready, and so that the line moves along. And then the people in there, they pay me already, right? So I'm just paying him. But that's how we've done it in the past to try to, because I would have really liked to have gone. One of those food trucks was donuts, and there was some on the weekend at the fairground,
Yes.
and people
Yes.
had boxes of donuts, and I thought I'd like to try that, but then the lineup went near, and I'd already.
So one
And
thing
then
I will say about the food trucks, though, is one of the things I think attract people to Winterfest is how incredibly reasonable our food has always been. Like a bowl of chili, I think, what have we charged, like $2, maybe $3, and a hot dog is $2 or what that. And I was looking, and a donut has always been $1. And I was looking, the donuts at the fairgrounds were $4 a piece.
Yeah, the food trucks do have a tendency at those food truck festivals that they've had in Toronto. You can spend a whole lot of money going from one food truck to the next. $10
Well,
here, $20 there.
So
Raspberries
that
is like
that
$7 or
concerns-
$8 for falafel.
Pardon me?
Rasmi's, they charge about $8 for a falafel sandwich, or you can get a plate.
Yeah, but if you have a family, that's really expensive. If you've got a couple kids and everything, it's great food.
I mean, we could still offer them a space at Winterfest, and that could just be a food option for people who would rather have falafels rather than a hot dog.
Yeah, I don't think that's fair to the food truck, though, if we're selling our hot dogs at $2 a piece or two,
But it's a completely different menu. So, like, I personally wouldn't buy a hot dog. I would get the falafel because I don't like hot dogs. So
right.
it just gives you a little bit more variety.
Well,
Go ahead, Fred.
I think if we asked Islam and Razmi if they could bring the food truck and we were not going to charge them to locate there, we might be able to negotiate somewhat lower prices. Now, it still might be more than a $2 hot dog, but I think it's $7 for falafel now, isn't it? Maybe it's $6. I thought it was $7. Maybe we could get it down to $5 or something.
It's $7 for 10 pieces or it's $6.50 or something like that. It's pretty reasonable. I every time I see them, I buy some.
The point is, I think if they didn't have to pay for their spot, I mean, at the farmer's market, I believe they pay for it. They pay $500 a month insurance on that truck. So, they do need to they do have some high overheads, but from their perspective, opening up, having the truck out on a Sunday for them is like a free day. I mean, it's a day in the week when they weren't planning to be out. So they're going to make some extra money. I could talk to them and see if they would lower their prices.
Yeah, and maybe just having like a set menu and that they would just have to prepare a lot of food ahead of time so that just to bang them off really fast instead of cooking on site. Go ahead, Sally.
Well, I was just going to say, if they just offered two things, like a falafel, which is good for vegetarians, and maybe like the chicken shawarma, they just had two things, and they could prepare the falafel in advance. And maybe they could have, I mean, the falafels are great, but maybe, I don't know if it's possible to make smaller ones too, and they could offer them at a lower price using smaller pitas.
Yeah, maybe like a half-size pita or something. That's the smaller size pizza. And yeah, that's a good idea. And just offering it like $5 a piece.
That's a good idea, Sally. We can talk to them. I'm sure they can think of something. They're quite reasonable.
Yeah. You could do, at a Bruce Trail event we had in the fall, the prediction hike, we had cookies and we just used tongs and the person serving wore gloves. But you could do donuts. Like if you got donuts, you could just have a volunteer there with a mask on and you just, the people, like you put it on a napkin or whatever and you just use tongs and it's a volunteer so you could do donuts.
Yeah.
Something simple like that.
And
I
then
like that.
And then for the, I mean, like we could still have the barbecue with the sausages and burgers or hot dogs and burgers or whatever it is that we usually barbecue.
What about chili?
And nix the vegetarian ones. Remember last year we had, not last year, whatever year it was, we had a whole bunch of vegetarian things left over. I think if we're gonna do,
we need to have a vegetarian option. We just have one box.
Well, right. I mean, we had vegetarian burgers and vegetarian hot dogs and vegetarian chili, and that was what was left over.
Right. So if we just had like one box of either, maybe like one veggie burger box, and then I think it's still good to have a vegetarian chili and a meat chili though.
No, I agree. The chili, yes. No, the chili, vegetarian chili, but the actual, fake burgers and hot dogs, people just didn't go for them.
And maybe if we're having falafels on site, they'll go to that for a vegetarian option.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
I think I'd prefer not to have the barbecue. If we have falafels and we have chili, I think I would skip the hot dogs and hamburgers and keep it a little simpler, because those things do take quite a bit of volunteer effort to put on.
Yeah, and I like the idea of the chili and a bun and donuts. I think.
Yeah.
And a food truck.
Yeah.
Okay, how are we making the chili? That was also a very large, non-COVID friendly production.
Well, I think, Shoni, that the easiest thing is rather than doing it together in the kitchen, which is a big production, why don't we all just make a pot? I mean,
we're not allowed to do that, Fred.
We're not allowed to do that.
Even before COVID, you couldn't do that.
It needs to be made in a commercial kitchen. It has to be
made in a sanctioned kitchen, a certified kitchen. That's why we had to start making it at the hall.
But why would there be any issues in making chili at the hall now?
Yeah. How many? Like 2 or 3 people could safely fit in the kitchen. You could have a schedule. 2 people come in or 3 people make their chili, and then 2 or 3 other people come in later and do their chili or something.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I was just picturing what we were doing last time.
Why is there a limitation to how many people need to be in the kitchen? Like we've only had like 5 people prepping anyways.
Social distancing, I don't know.
I think Sally's referring to like maybe on the Friday, like Sally and Melinda go in at 11 a.m. and make their batches of chili, and then Mike and Fred go in at 2 p.m. and make their. Is that what you were referring to, Sally? Or
I didn't know whether, like, just for social distancing, or is it okay if there's 4 people in the kitchen?
I mean, depending on who's vaccinated, like there's no limitations on how many people. There's no capacity limitations, right? Like
I think if you're going to be less than 6 feet apart, you have to wear your mask. If you maintain the 6 foot distance, you're okay. And what we did in the past was we just got a recipe for chili, and then everybody, that's the chili recipe we made. I actually had, at one time, I had staff make it. I gave them a chili recipe, and they spent a day making chili, putting it in the freezer. And
So
then
can they not still do that?
on Winterfest Day, what we did was just put it in crock pots.
So can
Early,
they do
because
that
the frozen
for
stuff,
this
that
coming?
was tricky. We did that with some of our stuff, right? And then it wasn't thawed. We didn't do that with all of it, but it wasn't thawed out. As I
Okay.
recall, we had a couple of ones. Well, but you don't want to spend staff time on that, or because, right, that's money.
Well, it costs money, and like we're very limited on the budget with this year with Winterfest, because if we're not doing the raffle, snowflake raffle, that used to bring about $1,200 in revenue, $1,200 to $1,400 in revenue. So the less staff time we put towards the event, the better.
How else could we get money? If
Sponsors.
like the idea of going around to the businesses and asking if they'll donate something, which I don't know, out of their pocket is $50, $100, $20. Ultimately, when they give you the basket of a couple of bottles of wine, or they give you the sandwich tickets or whatever. I wonder if is it possible to just ask them if they would like to, because of COVID, because of the way things are and everything, we're not going to have the snowflake raffle, but we would like to advertise your company like we always have, and you've supported us and everything. How about, do you want to be a goal on the goal? You could give us $30.
It's a
Or do you want to be
sponsorship.
on the, huh? Yeah.
Well, you're basically asking for sponsoring the event.
Yeah. But on a very little level. Like normally for sponsors, you go to Hockley Valley and you'd ask them for $1,000 for the party, right? But just on a smaller level. Is that of value?
I don't like the idea. I don't think the town of Mono is a charity. I think the town of Mono has plenty of money.
Okay.
And the solution to this is for you and Fred to get together with two other councilors and vote us some more money.
Oh, okay.
Like right now, we have a budget of $2,000 for the event, and this event, I can tell you in the past, has cost upwards of $4,000. By the time we pay for music, by the time, and I really like the idea. Remember the year, Linda, you got the band, or I'm sorry, I'll say it. No, let me remember. It is Thun is the last
Tony.
part. No, I wrote it down. Shouni.
My name is underneath my image here. I don't know.
I know, but okay,
I know,
Shouni.
but those are vowels
hard
stuck that are
Yeah.
different.
Anyways, what was I going to say? When you got the band to come, that was amazing. Like having them play, and the horse-drawn sleigh rides are $600 to have them come.
Well, how much was the band? How much was the band?
I think the band. I mean, I'd look it back up, but it was, I think, 700.
Mhm.
But they were great.
Probably get them down to less than that.
What about what's that band that's really well known in Orangeville? Campfire Poets.
I don't know them.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Alternatively, we could use canned music.
Or we could just use,
But we would need to
a
get
playlist.
Good sound system.
The food cost you a lot of money to buy, right? We don't recoup part of the deal of, no, it's not a charity. So people, the $2 bowl of chili, that's not where we really make the money. We make the money on the raffle because people have given us things that we then sell, right? Versus purchasing carrots and beef to sell for less money. You're not going to make more money, right?
Well, as long as we break even on the food, And that's what we typically do, don't we, Kim? Like how much do we put into food and how much do we make from
Yeah,
food?
we typically break even on food.
Okay.
Sometimes we make a little bit, but it's not going to break the bank if we don't break it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Right, and it's not a fundraiser. But the money that we make, it's nice to cover the costs because the budget, the recreation budget, which is quite generous for the town, considering lots of towns don't have recreation budgets for these kinds of activities. It still doesn't cover everything, right? There's still, and again, being a part of things to put volunteer time in, and as opposed to paying your fee or whatever, or charging a fee for your time, right? I mean, it's
Go ahead.
all
Go ahead,
not
Sally.
fundraising, but trying to cover, right?
You could raise your prices slightly too. Like we used to, I was
Yeah,
on the
in person.
recreation committee on up where our cottage is, which is a tiny little community, and I think we were charging $4 for a sausage, and $2 or $3 for a donut. I don't think people would mind if they paid a little more, because
Yeah.
$2 is just ridiculously cheap. And I don't even think you're
Yeah.
going to be able to buy things have gone up in price anyway. You're going to have to raise your prices to even cover your costs.
Yeah.
That's maybe true too.
Because
Yeah.
food prices have increased.
Like donuts, like what Kim, what do you pay for donuts when you get them from Zehrs? Like, are they a buck each or how much?
we used to make 25 cents per donut. I would
Yeah,
pay
but if
70.
$2 for a donut. Most people have toonies and loonies when they go to an event like that. Or
I don't have any problem charging $2 for a donut.
I mean,
None.
are donuts like usually $3 or $4? I've always
I don't know. What do you pay at
paid
Tim Hortons?
something
$2
like
probably.
I don't
Mhm.
buy like
I don't buy
I
donuts
always
from Tim
get the
Hortons, but
donuts at Zehrs.
yeah, I usually pay like $3 or $4 for a treat.
Mm-hmm.
You go to Starbucks or you go to really any cafe, can't really get any treat for less than $2 these days, unless they're one of those little energy balls. Those are tiny. So I think we can certainly get away with charging like $2.50, $3 even for a donut. People will pay for it.
I was going to say, they used to be $1. I'd say if we went up to $2, that would be a sufficient price increase.
Kim, is there not some extra funds, considering that we haven't had any events in the past what is it, 20 months or 18 months?
Oh, okay. Mike,
There's no extra money.
No, everything is slotted for each particular event, and we have $2,000 for Winterfest.
Mike, were you going to say something?
Yes, I was just going to say I like the idea of the food trucks. Alternatively, I like the idea of in-house cooking, but I don't like the idea of both. I just don't think it's fair to the food truck owner of the business not knowing how many numbers are going to come if they buy 200 or 300 servings of food, and then they see a bunch of other options and nobody lining up for their truck. I think we should choose one or the other and not both.
I disagree. It's totally different menu as long as it's not a competing menu. And if we get like typically 300 to 500 people throughout the day, you would probably get like 50 people at a minimum. I mean, Fred, maybe you can talk to your contact there and see if that's worth it for them. Like how much, because I see them on Broadway on Thursdays, like how many people do go through there on a Thursday afternoon?
Mike, with respect, I don't really think that's an issue. The chicken thing they have, if what they don't sell, they take back and put in the freezer. So, it's good the next time. They just freeze it. What do you call the stuff that makes the falafel?
No, you can't. Restaurants don't do that. They're not supposed to freeze their leftovers and reserve it.
Well, they do.
That's not how food works in
Okay.
commercial businesses. They don't freeze leftovers.
That's how they do it. That's how they do it, okay? So I don't think they would be worried. I mean, we would explain to them, we have no control over the number of people. If they got 50, fine. If they got 200, great. But,
Well, can you
know,
confirm that with them?
yeah,
And ask them
from
if,
their
like,
perspective,
what's it worth for them to come out?
Sean, from their perspective, most, their costs are like their fixed costs. They're paying $500 a month insurance, okay? And if they all of a sudden have another extra day to sell some food, you know, they don't pay their kids do the handle, they don't pay any wages. So from their perspective, it's just an opportunity. Yes, they'd be disappointed if there was only 10 or 15 sales, but I can talk to them.
Yeah, if you could just talk to them, confirm what their worth is, what it would be for them to come out, and if they could serve like $5 shawarma and falafel sandwiches, and that's it. And do we let them sell drinks, or do we want to control that? That's something that we should decide as well. But I don't really want to spend too much more time on talking about food, because there's a lot more to plan for Winterfest, and we do have a couple of other items on our agenda. So, Fred, why don't you talk to them and then let us know, and then we can revisit. But let's move on.
Excuse me, but can we just confirm a date?
Yeah, that was what I was going to ask next.
Oh, yes. So Craig and I are not going to be away that weekend anymore. So the 13th works for us. But Mike did bring up a good point about it being Super Bowl Sunday. But did it not
How
happen
is Super
one year
Bowl
where...
doing in February? Shouldn't it be in January?
Because I think we've had a conflict before where we ran Winterfest on Super Bowl Sunday, maybe 3 years ago.
I think so.
Did you remember?
I thought it was
No,
in
I don't think
January.
so. We've never run it in February.
Yeah, because I always
No?
thought the Super Bowl was in February.
What time does the Super Bowl start? At 6 o'clock?
Mm-hmm.
6:30.
Yeah, it's a nighttime thing.
Well, I think it wouldn't affect it. Like, would people sit around and watch the game?
Actually, Sally, I asked about that at the office. All the, male department heads who are the Super Bowl people, and they all went, "Oh yeah, like the party starts in the afternoon. Like when people get together to watch Winterfest, the parties they start at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon." So the office, and I'm just, this doesn't, mean anything, but they suggested that we stay away from Super Bowl Sunday. But I have to admit, when Mike sent in his suggestions, I loved what he had to suggest for, the theme around it. But
I mean, there's two things that we could do, because if Winterfest is held in the morning,
no,
what time is Winterfest usually? Is it 9 to 12?
11 to 4.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
the raffles in the afternoon,
Yeah,
right?
we can't do that. That's definitely going to conflict. For some reason, I thought it was like 9 to 1 or something like that, because then it could just be a whole Super Bowl themed day for families. So yeah, I would recommend going the Sunday before that. We can still do those really cool ideas that Mike had suggested, because it would be leading up to the Super Bowl, and they just sound like fun activities to do outside anyways. What is everyone else's thoughts on possibly moving it up a weekend?
The 6th.
We won't be there.
Well, won't we be back, but just back?
Saturday we'll be back, but yeah, I guess
Yeah,
we'll come
we'll be away for the entire preceding week, so we wouldn't have any opportunity for preparations, let's say.
Would you be able to?
Getting out of the chili making, are you?
Well, we're going on vacation, so we won't be there.
Oh, good. That's nice. We'll let you out of the chili making, but would you be able to still do your marshmallow thingy?
We could
Well,
do
we
it
could
Sunday.
do that, yeah.
We need Dave to groom the cross-country ski trail.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that would be done on the
What
20th. That would be done
What are
on the
the
morning
dates
of
that
the
you're
event
gone?
if snow conditions are suitable.
What are the dates of your vacation that you guys are away?
We're going away
The
from
30th to the 6th or whatever. We're back the Saturday. We're leaving on the 30th, and then we're back that following Saturday.
So you would
It's
be
the
there
same
for
show?
the Sunday.
As long as we don't get stuck in a
Sure.
snowstorm.
Yeah, that's right. There is always that possibility because we're going to
Sure.
Northern Ontario and we have to drive back through like Parry Sound area to get home.
And Sean, you know, Fred and Franca, we will be coaching Jackrabbits on the afternoon. So, or maybe the morning, but more likely the afternoon. So I can help in the morning, but we're gone in the afternoon.
Actually, I just looked it up and it's run from, where am I here? I think it's 1 to 4 or 1, hang on here. Gosh.
So could we make it earlier from like 10 to 2?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking earlier and shorter.
Well, we've always
usual.
tried to make it in the afternoon, I believe, because of people who go to church, recognizing.
We did say that, yes. And why do we want to have it on a Sunday? Can we have it on a Saturday?
And sorry, why do we have to accommodate one particular religion?
We don't.
Who says we do? I
Something to do on Sunday afternoons because people have been partying on Saturday night. They need time to wake up in the morning. So the following weekend is Family Day, right? So we can't do it that weekend.
That's
And
correct.
I am going to be, I will be away for 3 weeks.
And
on
we
the 20th to the March 14th.
and we want to do it on a Sunday as opposed to a
Does that have to
Saturday.
be on a Sunday?
That's what I'm asking.
Why don't
With a
we consider a Saturday?
What if it was
12th?
Saturday, February,
12th.
would be the 11th?
12th.
Well,
12th?
won't be there.
Saturday.
okay. One small problem. Then you wouldn't be able to get Razmy's food truck.
Oh, right.
He's at the they're at the market. And Dave and I are driving back on Saturday, so we wouldn't be there.
Well, no, that's Saturday that
No, it
follows
would be a
the
week
week
later.
before.
After.
I was
It's
just
the week
thinking
after,
instead of the
yeah.
A week
Super Bowl
later.
Sunday, the Saturday before the Super Bowl. But okay.
Sorry, Dave, Sally, what are the dates you're away? January 30th to the 6th?
Yeah,
yes,
Oh, okay, so you guys would be here on the 12th then.
yes.
we'll be here in the 12th, yeah.
Okay, so what about moving it to the 12th? And if we
There-
keep it at the same
That-
time as, sorry,
Sally
let me
and Dave
finish.
Sally and Dave aren't
Yes,
home.
they're back on the 6th. So if we were to do it on the 12th from the regular hours that we typically hold it from 1 to 4, the Orangeville market is
Done at 1.
Done at 1, but it's
It's
only
done at 1.
every other week in the winter
So
time.
it's
as
every
No,
well.
week.
it's
It's
every
every
weekend.
week at the winter market this year.
Oh, this
But
year. Oh, okay.
But you know, Rajmeet hasn't been there every single weekend, so maybe that's, you know, Fred, why don't you talk to them and see if they would be open to coming to our event instead of the farmers market, and maybe they don't have anything signed on for that month yet anyways, so
So you're looking at Saturday, February the 12th?
that way it doesn't
Suggestion.
conflict with the Super Bowl. We could still, it could just be like a big family Super Bowl weekend.
My calendar
Yeah,
says
so that's not,
that Friday the 11th is Chinese New Year, so there's another holiday.
oh boy. And a lot of people are probably going to be going out for Valentine's celebrations that evening on the 12th. So it's going to be, that would be a very busy weekend.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a good point, Linda. A lot of people will have things to do that that night. That'll be Valentine's night.
Sure.
Okay, so
So
I think that weekend might just be a bit much.
So do you want to go back to Sunday, February the 6th?
But Sally and Dave won't be around.
No, we're
No,
going
we-
to be there the Sunday.
We're coming back on Saturday, the 5th.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
If all goes well, we'll be
Okay,
back on
maybe,
Saturday,
yeah.
the 5th. Now, in my recollection of the
Okay.
last 5 years or so, there's been great snow conditions at the end of the first week of February.
Yes.
Like, we've gone away to Northern Ontario to ski, and ski conditions here were shitty when we left. And we came back, and they were great.
Okay.
So, now, no guarantees for this year, but it seems the first week of February, and just like the end of the first week, has been pretty good for snow conditions and winter weather in this area over the past few years.
So you
I
think
think it's
February
the next
6th is a
week.
good date, Dave?
February 6th could be really good.
Okay.
Can you remind me, Kim, why we said let's push it? Just because it's soon for planning? Was that why? From
Yeah,
the January that we usually do?
Yeah, because we're really shortchanging ourselves on timing here. We're also, I like the idea, I really do. I agree with Dave. We get caught short quite a bit with the date in January with the weather, and just pushing it that one little bit more, I think is a very smart idea.
Okie dokie.
Okay, so is everyone in agreement for February 6th?
February 6th.
Yes.
Okay, so 1 to 4.
Yes.
Okay.
I
Wonderful.
think February 6th
Yes.
works for us.
Okay. Yeah, as far as entertainment, can we talk about that, please? What are we going to do for it? So I'll call for the horse-drawn sleigh rides because they're always such a hit.
Yep.
Yep.
Does
I'm going to
someone
go
want to,
outside this year.
pardon me?
I'm going to be outside this year. Last year I saw nothing but the inside of the kitchen.
Yes, you did.
We're all going to be outside. Do you guys want live music?
I love the live music.
It's a
I
good,
think it
it's a good event feel.
And because this year we're so, we're not doing things inside, so we won't have the booths and all of that. I think we really have to kind of build up what's going on outside. So we have to make it.
If we work backwards from the 2000 budget and pay, what did you say, 600 for the horses, or?
Yeah, the horses are 600. That I remember for sure.
And then taking away the music and food, are we left with anything else?
Taking away,
Yes,
okay, give me a second. Let me just see if I can find it, okay?
In regards of budget, Mike, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
So we have
Oh, yeah, we had-
skating and we have
And there-
skating and skiing and fat biking and tobogganing, right?
And snowshoeing?
Snowshoeing.
And
Yeah.
snowshoeing, right.
Didn't
Okay,
we
so
have
I'll get in
some-
touch with,
We had
and
indoor
then we also
entertainment.
had the obstacle course. We had the obstacle course, so we're not gonna,
That was a couple
we
of
don't need to
seasons
do that
ago.
again.
Loved
Yeah, we
that.
didn't, we
That was a
didn't
couple
have
of
Had
that.
indoor entertainment. We had, for quite a few years, we had the clown.
Al the Pal.
And then the last year or two, we had the ladies that
That
spin the
did
hoop.
the,
No, that was Halloween.
oh, the
Was
ladies that spin the
Halloween?
hoop was Halloween. Yep, yep, yep.
Yeah, in 2020, we had that Magic Fun Bus.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yes,
That was
yes.
a big hit.
It
That
was
was a
a
hit with
big
the
hit.
little people.
I'm wondering whether or not because of the confined space, if that's going to be possible.
Yeah.
Well, as long as you wear a mask. What did they do in there, anyways, inside the bus?
Oh, they had like little trampolines. They had,
Oh,
No, that's
you
not gonna
know,
work.
Little thing you crawl through and
Yeah.
climb on, and yeah, it was like Sean's thing, except inside a bus, whereas
right.
Sean's
For
was in the
kids.
snow. Which the one Sean's thing in the snow was awesome, but I don't know. He lives up in Bracebridge now. I don't know whether he'd come down and do it.
It's for the price is right. The price is right.
The raffle is such a huge part of this. Why can't we engineer to have a outdoor raffle?
Yeah, we totally could.
yeah, we could have just, are people going to be okay with taking their gloves off to fill in, right on those tickets? And that's all I'm thinking in that regard. I mean, it's
Maybe
easy,
when you
can do that.
register,
We would
you
need
get
a
a
tent.
family number, and then you just write your family number on the tickets or something like that.
Yeah, you'd need a tent to cover in case it's wonderfully snowed
We would
during the
need
day.
like 4 tents for the amount of items
Oh, at
that
least.
we've had typically in the past.
Yeah, we'd need a lot of tents. But there's always underneath the balcony.
Just to have a
Yeah.
row along there.
I don't know. I've never been that big a fan of the raffle, probably because it kept people indoors, and I thought it was supposed to be an outdoor event. But
Oh, people
It
showed up
Yeah, I
just
mean-
for the raffle. It's a big
it
hit
attracted a lot of
with the
people.
community.
People came
Yeah.
because they could get a great prize. But I was never all that keen on it personally.
Yeah, I mean, a Winterfest is really about wintry outdoor activities. Like that shouldn't be our feature event or a winter festival. I mean, it generates the most revenue, yes, but yeah, no, I think people would be understanding if we didn't have it, and just because it's always been held inside, and we are coming out of, well, right now we're still in a pandemic, so
Unless you had,
people,
Would we be able to do a 50-50 draw?
do you have to get a license for that, or can you get one?
yeah, you need a license for 50/50.
And I think we'd have to be a not for profit then.
Could you
Like,
do the raffle?
No?
Corporations throw raffles all the time. It would just be a different kind of permit, I think. But I mean,
It's just a thought. I'm just throwing it out there as a.
Go ahead, Sally.
I was just gonna say, instead of doing the huge raffle, could you just do like a smaller one with maybe like 6 things that are, I don't know, six decent,
Like big basket.
or so, I don't know,
Basket.
something, just 6 things, and use the family number, your registration number or something.
I just need a phone. Like I need a phone number. Well, we wouldn't know because I wouldn't call out a phone number. We normally call out their names. If they're still there. I don't know how many people in the cold, like people stuck around because it was warm inside to the end.
Well, and people
Right.
actually only came for that part, right? And
Some
at
people,
the end,
that's right.
But
Well, they could always. You don't need to do the raffle draw. If we just pushed it to where they have to pick up the grand prize or the prizes, just to keep things simple. and not expect people to wait around till the end of the day and be hanging out outside all day. Just say that we'll be doing the draw prizes and you'll be contacted if you win.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it from the perspective of the budget. If we feel like we don't have enough of a budget, then we need the raffle to be able to afford the things we want to have for Winterfest.
Or the other thing is, you know, I just put we put a budget together to try and pull this off and present it to council and go, well, you know, we are going to need another X amount of dollars to do this. Our new counselor.
Now, so I recall when I put this forward, I said, in the spirit of COVID, let's do something smaller, shorter, sweeter, just a taste of what the wonderful Recreation Committee can put on. And when we've talked about it now, we've gone back to having a day just like we've always had before. So, which I'm open if that's what we want to do, but yeah, that was not what was presented.
I mean, I guess the other thing we could do is literally keep it to outdoor events like the skating, the tobogganing, the snowshoeing, the cross-country skiing, you know, just keep it to out.
And a shorter time because you're going to get cold and leave.
Band being outside, there'll be a food truck there. You can, you know, whether or not we serve chili, you know, to be decided upon. And it's just basically, come on out to, and there'll be our hot apple cider and our marshmallow thing. I love that. And just, it's outdoors, and we're, you know, there'll be a skating rink, there's tobogganing, and I don't know, like, do we, and it's just like all these things are available for you. Come on out and have some fun. And do we even go to the extent of saying, well, you know, we're going to have who can go the furthest on a toboggan, or, you know, I don't know, or who can skate around all these pylons and not hit any, or I don't know, you know, I don't know. Do we even go so far as to have anything like a timed program of things? Or do we just say, look, we've got all these events for you. Equipment's on site, except for skates.
Yeah, no, I like that because it kind of leaves things open. If you have like scheduled events, there's going to be lineups, there's going to be people waiting around. It'll be less opportunity to be doing things. So I like the idea of just having all these like pods of activities that people can do as they please, and just really keeping it simple and simple, fun, easy, inclusive.
I actually we didn't get to use it the last time. So when did we last have Winterfest? 2020. But I have a great big piece of, I guess it's plywood, I don't know, but I had a local artist, and he drew all these fun characters on the piece of plywood, and then you put your face behind it, and you get, you know, like you have your picture.
Oh, your photo. Yeah.
So it looks like, you know, you're the moose, or you're the reindeer, or you're the whatever. But anyways, it's just one more thing that we'll be able to put out this year. I had that done a couple of years ago, and we've never gotten to use it.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then if we implement a couple of new activities, like some of the ones that Mike had suggested, then I think we're good.
And we could ask Jeff to bring his fat bikes out again. I think he would probably be willing to do that.
Do you know?
I'm not sure. He's not doing any demos or anything like that right now because of COVID, because he'd have to like wipe down the bike afterwards, helmet, that kind of thing. So he may not be up for demoing bikes. Maybe the kick sled might be different, but I'll talk to him and see what he'd be up for and if he's available.
Okay,
Did we decide that we're going to revisit the food next
So-
time?
Yeah,
Huh?
once Fred talks to Rajni's waffles.
and what about the entertainment? Linda, are you able to contact Jason?
Yeah, if you want to give me a budget, I can throw that to him and see if he'd be up for performing. But I think also if we just had really good playlists and play canned music, I think that would work as well. Save some money if we don't have any budget. But I like the idea of, yeah, I mean, let's look at some of my ideas and see if that is COVID safe.
What's that, Linda? You broke up there.
Oh,
I'm
some
sorry,
of the activities that Mike had suggested. Yes, you need to wrap your head off of that name. Mike, do you want to go over those activities?
Sure. There are a lot of things you can do with a football theme if it coincided with Super Bowl weekend, which I guess we're now the February 6th, so there wouldn't be the tie-in. But I mean, flag football, football toss, through a tire hoop. There's all sorts of things you can do. But if it's February 6th, we could go back and grab the brooms out again and have another broom ball game or something like that. So
Oh, that'd be fun.
lots of ideas.
I always like the idea of snowshoe baseball. I did it probably about 27 years ago.
Snowshoe baseball. But that's right in the way of the toboggan track.
Right.
I like your idea of the football toss. That's pretty easy to.
Mhm.
But then, are we having to sanitize the football? I don't know.
Most people are wearing gloves anyways.
Sean, I have to sign off now. I'll be there to help, but I gotta sign off, okay?
Okay, and
Thanks,
but
Fred.
you're going to check into the food truck.
Yes.
Good night, Fred.
Yeah, I got 6:30. I have a meeting.
Yeah. So, okay, so for entertainment, I've got the horse-drawn sleigh rides, the skating, the fat bikes, the cross-country skiing, the snowshoeing, and possibly a band or canned music.
Broom ball.
Oh, so Dave, how does that
broom
work with the equipment, the snowshoes and the skis and the ski poles? Are you guys like sanitizing it after each use, or is that a requirement?
I don't know.
And what's the town's policies on that? Maybe that's something that we need to talk to public health about.
What's Mono Nordic doing for rentals and all that stuff?
Well, they've already sent out a bunch of seasonal rentals, so that it's not an issue there. But they've held back some equipment for daily rentals as well. But I don't know what the COVID protocol is related to that.
Well, at Hockley Valley, we sanitize the equipment after every use. So that would need to be done at Winterfest, I imagine, as well.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
So I mean, that's not a big deal. It's just not it'll just be an extra task to do after each person is done with their equipment.
Yeah.
We just need to have enough sanitizers available. So that's an expense, Kim, is like PPE and sanitizing wipes and sprays.
Yeah, you'd have you like at the supermarket or whatever, you have the big bucket and the big bowl, and somebody's there either as the equipment comes back cleaning it or having it self-serve where the person has cleans it.
Spray. because a spray
So,
would be better, I think, just because you're not going through so
No.
much waste for one thing, and then also, what's the waste for me?
Well, I was making spray, like at Loblaws, they've got it's a bucket of the spray and then paper towel to dry your hands or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
well,
yeah.
I think what would have to be is any equipment, at least as far as the snowshoes, where before we've just left them out and let people help themselves. They would now have to be behind a table, and you would have to, like a staff or a volunteer person would have to be there, and you know, we would give them out. You have to bring them back, and when they come back, they would have to be sanitized, and then they'd be able to go out again. But we wouldn't be able to leave things available.
It's never been unmanned. There's always been, it's
No,
usually
the
the Mono
snowshoes,
Nordic
the
Club that.
snowshoes, most of the time, we just put them in a pile and let people help themselves.
Oh, not the skis though. The skis are
Not
usually
the
manned, aren't they? Oh,
No,
really?
No, the skis have always been looked after by the ski club. They've always been very,
Yeah.
very good
Yeah,
with
that's
that.
what I meant. I
People
didn't know
generally
if it
need
was
some
you.
help getting skis on, so
Yeah.
they need to have a volunteer to give them some
What
assistance.
happens with the boots, Dave? The shoes?
I have no idea.
Oh,
Would you
right.
be able
the
to
boot.
talk to the ski club? And
Yeah.
like they might just say, you know what, we're not
Oh.
able to, like,
Yeah.
Well, we got a board meeting coming up a week from, well, it's on the 7th, whatever date that is.
Next week.
So I'll raise it with the Mono Nordic board, whether they want to participate in this event in the way that they have in the past, and whether it's practical from the standpoint of sanitizing equipment.
right. I agree. So I'll just put Dave to check with ski club if for
And-
logistics and desire. How's that?
Kim, did the snowshoes come from the town, or are they from the Nordic Ski Club?
No, they come from the Upper Grand District School Board Outdoor Education Center.
Yeah, I remember
Now,
they came
they're
from somewhere.
probably closed. I don't think the Outdoor Education Center is operating right now. So my other source for them is the CVC. I could ask the CVC if we could use theirs.
Right.
It's a Sunday though. That's going to be that might be conflicting with their operating day. Unless they have a ton.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'll check with them and I'll check with the school board for the snowshoes. See if I can get through to the school board for that.
And what do we do about the toboggans or the magic carpets or things? People just bring their own?
Yeah.
We've always had, we have about 15 of those magic carpets that, again, we've just left at the hill and let people use them. Now, when people are magic carpeting, they do have gloves on. Like, I'm not
Right.
just, it's a matter of popping your bum down and away you go. But again, we could do the same thing and say, you know, we could have them being just handed out by a volunteer, and just every time they come back, we wipe it off. And
Yeah, you never take your gloves off with the toboggan situation, right?
Well, no, but people could sneeze on the equipment. They could
Yeah, no, you're
be
right.
slobbering, and
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
definitely the possibility
I would not
of
bring them out then.
Right, because people aren't wearing their
needle and
masks
mouth liquid
outside.
reaching the equipment.
the
Right,
other
fair
thing
enough.
we could say is that, you know, toboggans will not be available. Like this year, you have to bring your own toboggan.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to go.
I think so too. Okay.
BYOT.
Bring your own toboggan. Okay.
Sled, carpet, whatever. Yes.
Your own,
Flying saucer.
Your own sledding machine, your own sledding equipment.
GT Racer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that idea better too, and then we're not worrying about it. We'll provide the hill.
Yeah. Can't
Okay.
promise this.
Mike, did you want to just go over those suggestions that you had for programs, or just, I like your throwing the football. What else was there? I remember I read it and I went, oh, these are all good.
Well, there was like a long distance football throw challenge. You could hang a tire and see who can throw the football through the tire for a prize. There's flag football, which is incredibly popular, so it'd be cool to see it in the snow, as long as some of the kids didn't turn it into a tackle football game.
Where would that take place though? Where I was thinking about
Maybe where the broomball game was last year, just to the south of just to the west of the hockey rink.
What?
And there was enough of a field to play broomball, so whether we chose broomball or flag football, it would be in the same space.
Oh, I see.
Isn't that where the
What?
sled goes? Or the sleigh ride?
Pardon me?
No, the sleigh ride was out on the parking lot, I thought.
It's east of the rink.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes,
But
east.
that's also a space that sometimes has been used by the horse-drawn sleigh if there's sufficient snow.
Yes.
Oh, right. If
I don't
there's,
think they went in there in 2020 because they didn't think there was enough snow, and I think they brought a wheeled wagon instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if there is enough snow for a sleigh, that's the area they have used.
Yeah.
You could use the bottom end of the field down below, beyond where the toboggans go. That's a big field.
Yep.
go over to the
Down
side.
there.
Yeah. Okay.
Or what about the baseball diamond itself?
That's the baseball diamond is pretty close to the bottom of the toboggan hill.
Okay.
I mean, for the football toss, could do that in the baseball field and have people standing in front of the fence throwing the football against the fence, so that at least that'll be a safe spot for, to stop the football.
You mean the backstop from the baseball?
Yeah. And then we can hang the tire from that fence too. So it doesn't even need to be a tire. It can just be like a hula hoop, and just have like maybe a few different size circles, and so you have like different targets.
I don't know how you hang it from the fence, but that's just my lack of.
If it's a hula hoop or a light hoop, a circle of some sort, you can just zip tie it to the fence.
Oh, I see what you mean. As opposed to push.
Like
okay.
So like
So
a
it'd be like
target.
a target.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's more of a target than it going through like a tire and then whatnot, because where else would we hang a tire from?
Right.
Okay. So Mike, we'll leave you in charge of that, and the broom ball.
Sure.
Great. Okay. Sounds good.
So that's pretty much fills the space, the outdoor space in the community center. So I don't know how many more activities you guys want to throw in the mix. I mean, we've got quite a few. There's skiing, there's snowshoeing, possibly fat biking or the kick sled, the football activities, tobogganing, food,
Skating.
Skating.
and skating. Yeah, that's quite a lot.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that's good.
Okay,
And then
Good.
the bonfire. Yeah, I think
right.
that's good.
And
Great.
hot apple cider.
Cider marshmallows. And we did the hot chocolate inside, so we would have no hot chocolate, or we would do just
We
cider.
gotta do hot chocolate or could we do both? Hot outside, hot chocolate and cider. We could totally do it outside, right? We just need like big cauldrons.
Yeah,
the
we could
more
do.
hot drinks, the better.
Pardon?
Yeah.
I was just saying,
More
on a
hot
cold day, the more hot drinks, the better.
Right.
So ask Sharon whether or not they'll come and do the hot apple cider. Sharon
Yeah,
and,
because it's usually the counselors that do the hot drinks, right?
yeah,
Oh,
and
Oh,
yeah, that's
so is
again, I was inside. I have no idea.
is our new mayor gonna be baking any pies?
Yeah, I don't. Well, no, Laura. That's Laura's business. If you still
or
want
the
her
mayor.
pies, you
No,
could just
it
go
was
to.
Mayor's baked beans for
He's-
Winterfest.
Oh,
Mayor's
that's right.
baked beans.
Yeah. So is John gonna provide?
I don't know him well enough yet to know what he cooks, but sure, we'll get him onto something.
Yeah, we gotta
He's
get him onto
coming.
something.
At least coming to the event, right? He lives
Yeah,
just
but
down the road.
Dave, do you need anything for your stuff? What did I used to provide you? Anything did you bring the propane and everything with that, or no? What did you bring? Do you need me to get you anything for the marshmallows, except buy you marshmallows?
Right.
Just buy
Well,
you.
I have been bringing a big steel fire pit over the last couple of years
Oh,
and
right.
some firewood. Would it be possible for me to get some help from town staff in doing that kind of stuff? Like
Yep.
Dave Metkowski has a nice little
Yep.
trailer that he has access to. If he could help out with that, transporting, that would be, really helpful to me.
We sure can. We can do Sunday morning is okay for that.
I would think so, yes.
Okay. Yuppers. Okay.
Kim, do you want to do maybe just one draw prize of some sort, and maybe it's like something big?
It's just a matter of, finding what that big thing is. Like
Yeah,
having to go out to the community and asking for a donation for it.
yeah. Maybe it's something like Hockley usually is pretty good for donating a hotel room.
No, Hockley, since
Kitchen
they've changed
fence,
ownerships, have
no.
not given us a thing.
Mm.
Mhm.
What? Oh, it's the Best Western, isn't it? Or
Best Western always gave us an overnight.
What's also interesting, I mean, technically, is the Best Western is in Orangeville. It's not in Mono.
It's
It's on
not
the
in
other side of the street, right? Yeah. The other side of the street is Mono, right?
well, I will talk to Hockley Valley and see if they would be willing to donate a package of ski lifts for a family of 4 and possibly a room. Well, I don't know about a room, but maybe we just go with lift tickets, or I don't know.
A good tie-in
A
for
ticket and a
Winterfest
rental?
would be a snow globe dinner.
Oh,
Those
wow.
are really expensive,
right.
and they sell out. So I don't know if they would be willing to donate something like that, because that's like a $500 revenue generator for them, or no, it's $300. It's a $300 revenue pack for a dinner for 2 right there. And it's like book solid. So I don't know if that's something that they would give up.
Okay, well, talk to them and see what they might be willing to give us.
I'm going to have to sign off because I can't I can't hook
Oh.
up to my thing. It's
Let's
6:25.
let's set a
and I have to
date
go.
for our next meeting.
Okay,
The last okay. Guess that'd be January, or because we don't typically meet in December. And
we don't
can
meet
just
in December
correspond
despite
via
having
email.
not for 18 months. Don't,
We-
I guess early January would give us enough time for the report backs to make decisions.
Yeah, I mean, we can always still correspond via email.
Right. All right, great. Good point.
How about January the 6th?
I am off that week. I always take 1 week past Christmas vacation off. So I'm back to work on the 10th.
Okay, so how about the 10th?
Sure.
Or the 11th? Is the 11th?
Probably
Is
the
the
11th would be better, or if you want to stick with,
Well, yeah, I don't know. Is the 11th the council? I remember it's every
no,
other
oh,
at
actually,
night. Like, I don't know.
I don't have the new, that's the second Tuesday of the month, so that would be a nighttime meeting. Yes,
Yeah.
that is
Okay, so
council.
how about the 13th?
Or
Okay.
what about the Wednesday,
Thursday.
the 12th?
Sally has book club on the 12th.
I have book club on the 12th.
All right. So the 13th?
Okay, I have card club on the 13th, but anyway, just saying.
Sally, what time of the day is the dog's obedience class?
That's on Thursday at 7 o'clock, I think.
Okay, well, that won't work then.
I gotta go. So just let me know. As long as it's not a Tuesday, I'm fine. Okay.
Right.
I have to sign off.
Tuesday's
Oh, no, but if
Do we
if the meeting's 5 to 6:30, that would work. I just have to eat in advance and
Okay, so-
dip out.
Does it have to be a nighttime meeting?
Not for me.
I'm gonna be working I usually work. I'll be working probably.
Oh. Okay, so, because I think, when will you know if you'll be working? Because I think pretty much you're the only one that's in the working mode.
Not retired. I will likely be working. I don't know. I don't know what my schedule. Like I'm working at Hockley for the ski season, and I'm only going to be working days, so I don't want to have to take time off.
Sure.
Do you finish at 4 or 5?
4:30.
What, 4:30?
Yeah.
So Sally, what did you say, a 5 o'clock meeting works for you?
The Thursday, I could do it before I go to obedience class.
Okay, so Thursday, the 13th from 5 to 6:30?
I can do it.
You sure? Like if you have to go early, then you go early.
I just have to drive into Orangeville, so. Yeah.
Okay, I've put it on
Yep,
Thursday, the 13th at 5 p.m.
yep. Works for me. Okay.
Okay.
And I'll put the other things that were on the agenda. Oh, one thing I do have to know before we go is we have to do a Make Mono Shine event. That again was a direction of council.
What does that entail, and when
So
They want,
basically it's, they want a day where somewhat what they do in Erin, because I looked up what goes on in Erin, and what they've done is they do go to local businesses and have a few prizes donated so that people who go out and pick up garbage on those days. So we would have a central location like Mono Center. You would come and pick up garbage bags from us. And then we would, we don't, in Erin, in that area, they don't tell people where to go pick up the garbage. They just go and get it. And then they bring back the garbage to us. And for every bag of garbage, you get X number of draw tickets for the draw prizes. And then there's,
So that's what
and then there's a barbecue, but we have to pick a date so I can get it into the newsletter.
okay. Well, that's not going to happen now because it's 6:30 and I need to make dinner before my next meeting at 7. So let's chat via email about that. I mean, something like that sounds like it would be perfect during Earth Week or
I've already,
around Earth
well,
Day.
there's already tons of things going on. I do have some tentative dates for it. So I'll email them out to you.
Okay, great.
Okay,
Okay,
sounds like a
great.
spring
Thanks,
evening.
everyone.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay.
Good night.
Have a
Meeting
good
adjourned.
night.
Thanks.